taking place is profiteering off of humanity's suffering by these global industrialists and pharmaceutical cartel directors. You've got to say no. You've got to stop taking their garbage. And you've got to virtually come out of her, lest you be infected by her plagues. You've got to come out of this insanity and hypocrisy and lunacy. You've got to come to what's sane and reasonable, which is treating your Holy Spirit-filled temple as a body sovereign, as capable of healing naturally and sustaining itself using the things that God gave us. And now the revelations of how God works, literally to create why it is the botanical world is greenish yellow, why it's resonating specifically to 528 hertz frequency, the heart of the electromagnetic spectrum. That means it's the heart of everything, because as above, so below. It's the heart of the electromagnetic spectrum means that it's the heart of the rainbow. It's the heart of your heart. And when that warm, fuzzy feeling you have in your heart when you're in love, that's an energy, frequency of 528.
And talking about love, Barack Obama's former minister, Reverend Wright, referred to you because of your work on your book about AIDS and Ebola being created through vaccinations.
Yes.
And I know it has a question mark on the title, but I'd like to ask you more about that book and also the roundness of your background that allows you to be an expert on all these different issues.
Well, you see the gray hair? The gray hair is aging associated with a lot of research. So my first bestseller, I have 16 books. I from the time I was young, loved writing. And medical journalism is real dear to my heart. My 10th book was called Emerging Viruses, AIDS and Ebola. Nature, accident, or intentional was the question I asked in the book, and I leave readers to come to their own conclusion. I lay out all the science that deals with how these types of viruses were bioengineered by Dr. Robert Gallo, who was credited for having discovered the AIDS virus in 1984. Come to find out, he was working with Lytton Bionetics research labs, whose contracts I literally reprint in the book Emerging Viruses, and shows you how they recombined leukemia, lymphoma, sarcoma viruses from various species, and then got them to jump species into humans through simply cell culturing and human white blood cells in some studies, human fetal tissue cells in other studies, and then shows you then those chimpanzees in which Lytton was supplying to the vaccine makers were shipped to New York. Dr. Maurice Hilleman, the world's leading vaccine developer, who actually admitted exactly what I'm saying, said that the AIDS virus was brought into the United States in contaminated monkeys destined for vaccine research and development at Merck. I show you the contracts. It was specifically the chimpanzees were used to create the hepatitis B vaccines given to gay men in New York City, blacks in Central Africa, and Willowbrook State School mentally retarded children on Staten Island in New York. Between 1970 and 1974, the first identified official AIDS case was 76. We have testimonies that around 74, when these people, right after they got the vaccines, they started to develop the symptoms of AIDS, including the Kaposi sarcoma lesions. The other day, as a matter of fact, I met a dermatologist, MD, from New York, who was witnessing in 1974 the first group of gay men that they had brought together who had this new strange cancer, the Kaposi sarcoma, and they didn't know what it was. This was 1974, 75. 76, they claimed the first identified HIV/AIDS case, and of course, they didn't allegedly discover the virus until 1984 with Dr. Robert Gallo. The whole thing is a fraud, Jonathan. And that's why Reverend Jeremiah Wright, at the time, at the heat of the Barack Obama campaign, where he was being demonized for having this minister who stated, goddamn America for creating the AIDS virus because it's being used as a biological weapon against people of color. That's what Reverend Jeremiah Wright stated. And when he was asked 2 weeks later before the National Press Corps, did he really mean that? Was he really serious? That's when he said, he responded, quote, "Have you read Dr. Leonard Horowitz's book, Emerging Viruses, AIDS and Ebola?" End quote. And that's what we had, that segment in Pharma Horse.
You had it on network TV that didn't show that
They
part.
showed it once.
Once.
It just showed it once. That's why we play it now in Pharma Whores, the documentary film.
Yeah.
You know, people, you can go to pharmawhores.com and view the trailer.
And that's spelled PHARMAWHORES. Some people think it's spelled with an F. It's spelled with the P.
You know, it's not agricultural farmers, it's pharmaceutical, PHAR farmers.
Well, let's talk about how we're...
As far as the closing,
Yeah.
can you just share what you want to share with
I really want to talk about how we're advancing the Healthy World Organization, which is an alternative to the World Health Organization, to the corrupt World Health Organization, and the CDC, which we refer to as the Center for Disease Creation, not Control. I think that it's important that people really know how they can help, and I think that if people want to partner with us, there is a way. We have an affiliate program through healthyworldaffiliates.com, and I'm going to give your link, which is 2925, I believe. Is that correct?
Right.
healthyworldaffiliates.com/2925, so we can support Jonathan, because you've been supporting us, and anybody that actually is out here to help us get our message out, we definitely want to help support. And so,
anything from the affiliate with Flyby News is going to our nonprofit work for this educational campaign.
Exactly.
That's what I like about it, because I have a link at flybynews.com that basically says, support Flyby News, join Healthy World Affiliates, and I link to that website, and all you have to do is just go there and sign up. It doesn't cost you anything.
And it was easy,
You're not
right?
under obligations.
Really easy.
Then you see the list of their products, and if you buy a product, you get a discount, or if somebody else comes to your website.
right, and if you give your link out and somebody buys it, then you'll make a commission on it, and the commissions are pretty high commission.
It's very good commissions. In essence, what it is we broke our company up because essentially what we need to realize is that we're all one family. We're all one humanity. And what we've got to do is we've got to support each other in every way, including financially. So what we did is we broke up healthyworldstore.com, put our top-selling products on the affiliate program, and now pay out a 40% commission on 5 levels, so that people like yourself who want to raise money, as well as tell the truth, as well as, most importantly, help people heal and save lives. Essentially, now you have the opportunity. We give you a turnkey business for free. There's nothing required to purchase. There's no requirements of the number of people you have to sign up. Essentially, it's a turnkey
And if they go to the website, they can see the video. There's videos up
tell them
on
about that.
healthyworldaffiliates.com/2925. There's videos. If you just go on there and click, you'll see videos. It'll actually describe what you need to do to sign up. It's completely free, and what's great about it is if you give somebody else your link, up to 4 other people you give your link to, and it goes on infinitely. I mean, there's no limit to how many people you're going to meet, and then they refer 4 other people. You're going to make commission on what they purchase when they purchase something, where there's no hierarchy like MLM programs. They have a hierarchy. It means you're always under someone. No, you create your own line of people. Everybody you refer, up to 4, no more than 4 people down.
Yes, so I do want to make this point. There's no incentive, virtually more than your incentive or your incentive out there in the audience, for me to sign you up under me, really. Everybody's on their own 5-level opportunity.
Right.
We're not giving out my affiliate or yours.
I want to give out Jonathan's.
We would really appreciate if you would support in your local community Jonathan Mark here, who brings you and spends his time and spends a lot of money trying to bring you the truth that shall set us free. So we can come together as a family, which is the model that every successful organization does. It's like the Japanese became very successful because they supported each other. And the same thing with the Germans. Ultimately, this Anglo-American cartel is supporting Big Pharma. We've got to move forward as an organization, and we the people have got to come together instead of being divided. And this is an excellent way to not only advance an alternative to the corrupt World Health Organization controlled by Rockefellers et al., but also support your local activist, Jonathan Marr.
Healthy World and to Pharma Whores. I want to thank Leonard Horowitz and Sherri Kane for coming here and doing their thing and bringing science and spirituality together and health.
As well as political activism.
Yes.
Of course.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having us, Jonathan. It's been a pleasure, and thank you for all the work again that you're doing.